brightly detonating ammunition depots, destroyed equipment, and dozens, if not hundreds, of absolutely killed occupiers. A nightmare both for the ordinary soldiers truly sitting on the front lines and for the entire leadership of the occupying army sitting deep in the rear. All of this is associated with the successful operation of multiple launch rocket systems. First and foremost, of course, with the American HIMARS, beloved by millions of Ukrainians. But what if we told you that Ukraine has its own development of not as popular, but almost on par with its American counterpart? To begin with, we invite you to get acquainted with the fascinating history of multiple launch rocket systems. The ancestor of modern MLRS is considered to be the Korean Hwachakart. It was developed, attention, back in the 14th century. It proved its effectiveness in the Japanese-Korean War. At the Battle of Hangju, 3,400 Koreans, with the help of 40 Hwachas, repelled the attack of 30,000 Japanese. The Hwacha was so ahead of its time that in the 21st century, the well-known American team Mythbusters decided to test whether this 14th century weapon could indeed hit targets at a distance of 500 meters. Spoiler, it could. Subtitles by Dematherzok. It was this Korean cart that became the ancestor of modern multiple rocket launch systems.
The feature is that they can deliver an enormous number of projectiles in a short period of time.
The tasks assigned to the personnel of the MLRS UPOSU primarily depend on the type of ammunition with which the system directly works. If some systems and their ammunition are more suitable for destroying personnel and lightly armored vehicles, for example, the Grad can be included in this category.
In 20 seconds, you have 40 explosions on a small area measuring 200 by 300 meters. All the explosions are fragmentation, meaning that when the projectile hits the ground, there are not even any craters.
Other systems are used for more serious targets, such as command headquarters, ammunition depots, buildings, and well-fortified enemy positions. For this task, the Smerch MLRS is more effective. For example, Smerch is a multiple launch rocket system developed by the Soviet Union. It was adopted into service in 1987. Dozens of units were inherited by both Russia and Ukraine. And today, this system is actively used in the war by both the armed forces of Ukraine and the Russian forces. The technical specifications of this MLRS are as follows. The combat weight is 44 tons. Smerch uses a 300mm projectile, 12 launch tubes. The maximum firing range is up to 70 kilometers. However, there are also upgraded projectiles that can reach up to 110 kilometers. Arguably, the main drawback of the Soviet design is its insufficient mobility and maneuverability, especially when it comes to reloading the system. In the case of the Smerch, the 300mm projectile weighs about 400 kilograms, so it is reloaded in a very specific way.
The launch and transport vehicles must be positioned on a relatively flat surface, leveled and coupled into a single unit. Only when alignment is achieved between the rammer and the package can the loading be carried out. This can take up to an hour. So imagine the Smerch system with 12 launch tubes can be loaded in 40 to 60 minutes.
Why do we pay so much attention to this Soviet development, you might ask? It's because the Ukrainian MLRS Vilka was developed based on the Smerch, or more precisely, the high-precision Ukrainian Vilka munitions for the modernized Smerch system, which significantly enhanced the combat characteristics of this MLRS.
The thing is, the Smerch system is designed for, let's say, large areas. And therefore, when it was created in the Soviet Union, the issue of accuracy was not particularly emphasized. The Smerch system is mainly designed for cluster munitions. that is not a single high explosive blast but 36 elements, sub-elements are contained in one submerged shell cassette. And therefore the missile could deviate from the aiming point by even more than a kilometer.
Olkha is a high-precision projectile with a powerful warhead. With classic shells, there can be no talk of pinpoint system operation. But with Ukrainian munitions, developed by the Luch Design Bureau in Kyiv, at a firing range of over 100 kilometers, the circular error of the projectile is less than 20 meters.
The missile does not have any additional fins. It has a system of micro-engines that activate with precision to a fraction of a second, and they carefully adjust the warhead of the Olkha projectile to guide it precisely to the point for which the coordinates are set.
As of today, there are already several varieties of these modernized MLRS. From the first days of the full-scale invasion, long before the delivery of the first HIMARS, the main high-precision weapon on the front became the first development by Luch, the R624 Olkha. On March 3, 2022, one of the developers reported more than 50 successful strikes with these missiles. This missile, with a range of up to 70 kilometers, has a warhead almost equivalent to the American ATACMS, about 250 kilograms. And in May 2022, the new Olkha M, with a range of up to 110 kilometers, underwent its combat baptism.
Ukrainian rocket projectiles are destroying the enemy. They say that somewhere the Olkha is in operation.
A significant and noteworthy fact is the interest of foreigners in this development. The press service of KB Luch reported on the signing of export contracts for the Olkha with the United Arab Emirates and negotiations with the armed forces of Egypt. Information about the number of systems and missiles for them is, of course, kept secret. But it is important that all the components of the missiles are produced by domestic enterprises, and as of today, Ukraine has the capability for serial production of the Olkha.
There was even a hitch in organizing the production of this ammunition, which consisted in the fact that the developers faced market realities, and the cost of equipment for setting up the production line for Olkha ammunition turned out to be significantly higher than the designers had anticipated. Nevertheless, the money was found and the equipment was purchased. A unique machine was purchased, I believe, if memory serves, it was Turkish, with numerical control, which cut cylindrical metal shapes for the production of the casings of these shells.
As we can see, the Ukrainian military-industrial complex is working. In the conditions of war, Ukrainians have realized the necessity of improving their own military production. Factories, design bureaus, and most importantly, people who know their craft are available. Olkha is far from the only gem produced by Ukrainian developers. To ensure you don't miss the next episodes of our program, be sure to like this video. Write in the comments about which types of weapons you would like to learn more, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.